All right, on the Health Watch this morning, over 300,000 new breast cancer cases will be reported this year. So the earlier you catch it, the better your chance is of survival. I actually hopped aboard a roaming mammogram bus in Miami Gardens. You see right here. That bus is driving around South Florida providing free mammograms and ultrasounds. And I got one myself. Yes, I put on that pink paper robe and went through the process. It takes about 10 minutes. And for women with dense breast tissue, which requires a separate screening for accuracy, you can get that done there as well. Get those results in 24 hours. It's so great. You will know by the end of the day what your results are. Now, one of the women who came out actually drove from Tamarack. This was her very first mammogram.
Yeah, I just think this is going to help me stay on top of my health, and hopefully the results are positive.
Yes, we hope so too. The mammogram will be driving, the mammo van that is, will be driving around South Florida the next couple of months, and you can find a full list as well as a link to sign up for free mammograms. All you have to do is go to cbsmiami.com in the health news section. Now, I do want to talk more about the importance of mammograms, and joining us this morning is Dr. Marcel Blaya. He is a breast medical oncologist at Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center, and he joins us now. Thank you so much, doctor, for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
So help us understand, when should we start getting mammograms, and why should we do it yearly?
So it's really important because, as you mentioned, early detection saves lives. Mammogram is the best tool we have for early detection. And October is around the corner. It's our Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and being able to do these tests and offer to the community is extremely important. Women at average risk, meaning that you don't have any of the alarming signs like having a strong family history, having more than one first-degree family member, having a genetic predisposition, or if you have too many family members on the same side of the family with an early diagnosis of breast cancer, or finding a high-risk lesion. All those things would make you have a more intense screening.
Right. And maybe start the screenings earlier too, because 40 is kind of the typical age of
Correct.
it. So let me ask you, when women have dense breast tissue, and a lot of women do out there, it's not just a mammogram you need additional testing, correct? And tell us why.
So the breast is made up of glandular tissue and fibrous tissue. So when there's the disproportion, not disproportion, but the proportion between these two is what determines breast density. When the radiologist looks at that, it all looks white on the.
So it's hard to see if there's cancer in there. So you need an ultrasound to go in and make sure. Talk to me about why we're seeing a higher risk factor for women of color.
So it's for both women of color, Hispanic population, they tend to have a later diagnosis at the time. So for us to do the mammogram, to increase awareness in our community, in trying to obtain earlier diagnosis in those patients, I think will be extremely important.
So when we look at these mammograms, of course, we're looking for cancer, but are there other things that can pop up that are really important as well, health-wise?
Excellent. Yes, the majority of mammograms are going to be normal, right? And they may not be 100% normal. They may have an abnormality here and there, but the majority of those can be benign findings, so much so that the American College of Radiology came up with a classification so that when we look at those imaging tests, we know whether another exam is needed in a shorter interval or at the usual follow-up in 1 year.
So you're talking about like maybe tumors or cysts or other things inside that can cause problems?
Correct. Most commonly fibroadenoma or a cyst, or other things that are benign findings that don't necessarily require more testing
at that point. But sometimes they can be painful, so it's really important that you go get these testings, and it's so important that you do a self-exam, right? Because sometimes there's that time period between the tests, and if you get something in between, you want to catch it.
So that's very important, because nowadays, really all of the organizations, they really call out for something called breast awareness instead of self-breast exam, because self-breast exam generates a lot of anxiety. But being aware of your breasts, knowing what they look like, making sure that there's no changes, and if you do find anything when you are seeing, you don't have to wait. Yeah, you don't have to wait for the
Doctor,
timing.
this is so important. It's going to save lives. Thank you so much for what you do, and thank you for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.